We're going to be doing this from now on. I'm going to start each training with a little nugget, little John Wayne hint tip off of my 200 top 200 list of reasons businesses fail, otherwise known as the Do Better Business System. This one is number 5. So, I had a client who has his employees show up to the office every morning to clock in, and then they drive from there after they pick up their service ticket, and they drive to the client's location to service the client. Some of these employees were driving 45 minutes to an hour to get to work, and then 45 minutes to an hour to get home. And some of them were passing their service, the client, on the way to work to clock in. So the idea was, instead of forcing your employees to clock in every morning, why not give them their first work ticket the end of today for them to service in the morning, or all their tickets for tomorrow, have them go straight from home to their first job, and do all their jobs throughout the day, and then go back to the office at the end of the day and log out or whatever, and check in, turn in all their tickets, etc. So he conceivably went from having 2 to 3 to 4 hours drive time every morning for his employees to cutting half that drive time out, and then half the drive time from them going to the office back to the job site, which in some cases was not very far from their home. So they were able to schedule their job tickets from the employee's house in order to what's closest to the office. So when they got to work in the morning on their first job, they were closer to home. When they finished their last job, they were closer to the office. And he was able to cut, 10, 15 hours a week of dead time out of a schedule between the 8 or 9 employees that he was losing, or they were losing, driving to and from work to clock in and out every morning. So not a scenario that would work for everyone, but if it is a scenario that can work for you, and you are a service company and you do have to go to the client location to service them, with proper scheduling, you can save a lot of time in that schedule, and a lot of your employees' time, making them happier, and save yourself some time, make you happier. Cut the bottom line down. Time is money. So if that's a scenario that can work for you, great. If not, it's something to think about. Now, who is in a hurry? Is anybody in a major hurry? Got a bid proposal solicitation, something to work on, or somebody got a bid due in the next hour would like to start?
I do. We're Sean.
Okay.
So I guess I can give you the solicitation number.
Best thing to do is, in the future, either email it to me ahead of time or put it right here in the chat window.
Okay. I can send it to you right now if that's okay.
That's fine.
All right. This one's a real a real common one. The same template. I have a few questions. Since I think I overheard you speaking about Buy American once, but I didn't really get it. So it's Buy American, and then I have another question in regards to the MMAR, and then I'd like to just look at this solicitation just to, make sure that I'm doing everything right before I submit it. Justification. All right, the email's been sent. So I'm new to the program, John, and this is I'm just starting out doing the actually filling out these templates that they give you on FBO. It seems to be that they're really simple. I mean, reading through everything, I am like reading through everything, which I don't know if I have to all the time, but are there things that you need to like watch out for in these things? Because it seems pretty straightforward. If solicitation, the signature here, signature there, X there, X there, X there, and then are these all the same?
Most of them are. Most of them are pretty simple. A lot of people overthink this way more than they should. It's gotten a lot simpler to sell to the federal government than it has to really any other entity that I've seen. I was a business owner once. I sold to residential, I sold to commercial, I sold to industrial. I did a little bit of government, but that was 10 years ago, and it was extremely difficult and a lot of paperwork and a lot of competition. The federal system has got a lot less competition, and it's gotten a lot easier to sell to the federal government because of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. You probably remember back in 2010, the government passed the ARRA. It was going to save the economy. Because of the housing market fell apart in 2008, that was how they were going to save the economy and spend more money with small businesses and women and minorities and veterans, 8As, hub zones, etc. But by 2012, they weren't even close to meeting that. The SBA was saying we hit 23%, and then the report actually came out and they were like 3 to 13. Right around the same time, G.S.A. was bragging about how they were reaching 23% and threw a big party and was spending millions of dollars on this big party out in Vegas. Well, that party got canceled because they weren't even close. It's ironic, though, our growth in the last 5 years has correlated to the SBA's meeting their 23% criteria. And, we're going to be going on 100,000 SAM registrations this year. And this year they're actually hitting the 23% criteria. So to answer your question, most opportunities are really simple, and they've gotten more and more simple to make it easier to sell to small businesses so that they can meet that criteria. So yeah, a lot of these, don't overthink it. A lot of these are just as simple as they seem, but that's why we provide this live training, so you can get on and learn and let me show you the ones that are easy and the ones that are not. Typically the ones that are more complicated are the Buy American or prevailing wages or Davis-Bacon Act, or contracts like, if you're going to build a nuclear power plant or a VA hospital, it's going to be a fairly complicated proposal. If you're just cutting grass at the university or providing, I got a client that provides the White House with toilet paper. How about that? Trump uses my client's toilet paper to wipe his butt. And that contract was so easy to bid on, it was ridiculous. So, yeah, don't overthink it. I've got your email here. Wayne White, go ahead.
I was going to say, so one thing I haven't done yet is fill out the bid master template that you guys have. I'm going to be working on that tonight. But that really, once that's filled out, everything's like really plug and play, right? I could just use that template all the time for these solicitations, right?
Pretty much. I built that template based on the standard instructions to offerer. And the standard instructions to offer, 52.212-1, requires a cover page, a signature page, and acknowledge of amendments. They want a price proposal, which is usually a standard form they include, a copy of your reps and certs. They want a technical proposal, which is a description of the services or a brochure for the product. And they want a copy of your...
Sorry. Can you hold up? You said a copy of your reps and certs. What's that?
Representations and certifications. I'll send you an email with the video that you can watch on it.
Okay.
Okay. It's something we process for you. It's on your SAM registration. You just got to download it like once a month.
Okay.
All right. And then a copy of your cap statement. That's the standard requirements that most purchasing agents ask for. So I put that bid template together in the training center so that you guys had a basic template to operate by. Okay.
Okay.
And this is Racine I'm talking to, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So for this one, the one I'm looking at in particular, I've never seen the MMAR. Can you explain what that is briefly?
It's in the documentation that you sent.
Yeah, you can find it. The first reference to MMAR on page.
Okay, because there's multiple acronyms for MMAR. It's the Medical Marijuana Access Regulations or Medical Access Regulations. They do them backwards.
No, Materials Management Acquisition Regulations.
Gotcha.
It's on page 6, the first reference to it.
Okay. That's not the Mighty Morphing Power Rangers, obviously.
Are you waiting on me, John?
Nope. So this is your standard form. Standard forms, you got to fill out blocks 12, 17, 23, 24, and 30. Very straightforward. Your discount terms is 12. 17 is who you are. You put your cage code.
You said my discount is 12. So is 2% for 10 days? Is that a reasonable one? Is that good?
I offer 2% for 5 days, 1% for 10 days, like this. Net 5 minus 2%, net 10 minus 1. Net 10 minus 1. All right.
Okay. All right.
Block number 17 is who you are, your cage code, company name, address, telephone number.
Can you put that thing back up so I could just take a snippet of it, the way you worded it? Thank you.
All right, your contractor, cage code, name, address, phone number, and then you put in 23 and 24 is where you put in your unit pricing, and 30 is where you sign it. So this document is literally that simple. All right, you want to check and make sure.
Okay. So it's just the bold words up top is all I have to.
12,
just
17, 23, 24, and 30 is all you have to fill out on here.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
All right, and you got to sign it and date it. And you got a pricing sheet right here, which says see page 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you put in your pricing, unit price times total cost, or unit price times the number of units total cost. Grand total, how long for delivery, that's destination, freight on board, so delivery to them.
So I'm not filling that out on page 1. I'm filling it out there, right?
Correct, because it says see page 2. That's your packaging and marketing instructions. Inspection and septics instructions. This is pretty straightforward. You just follow the information.
That's what I thought. I think that you're right. I think people think too much. It's like, is it really this? Is this all? So,
yeah.
All right. I mean, I just needed that to be verified. That really, it was just, that was all.
Yep. There's your payment instructions.
Can you explain this, the MMAR right there up top? What you just passed it?
Materials Management Acquisition Regulation. So this is just how the government accepts your product, how they inspect it, how they approve it, if they want you to send them a sample or stuff like that. It's just how they handle it.
Oh, so that really is not much, like I've seen it referenced a bunch of times, so that's not something I should worry about if I'm just going to be buying lights from a big manufacturer and drop shipping them right to them?
If you follow the instructions and the statement of work and the instructions to offer, you got nothing to worry about.
Okay, so then can you tell me what the Buy American and the Buy American Act and the Buy American Act North American Free, can you just briefly explain to me what that is?
Buy American means they're going to require you to buy either a product that's manufactured in the United States or it's manufactured in a country that's on the approved Buy American list, or it's modified somehow here in the U.S. So, for example, there's a list of countries that you can buy from that are qualified for the Buy American Act. There's a list of countries.
China is one of them, right?
You can't buy from China, but you can buy from Hong Kong.
I can buy from China, but I cannot buy from Hong Kong?
You can't buy from China, but you can buy from Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
All right, and this is in the Buy American Act rules. There's a list of countries you can buy from, and there's a list of countries you can't. Obviously, any country that's on an embargo, you can't buy from, unless the product is modifiid or there's additional service added to it here in the U.S. So you could always have something that's made in China shipped to Tokyo in some cases, and that's fine.
You mean shipped to Tokyo and then Tokyo shipped to me and then it's fine?
You're buying it from a distributor in Tokyo. All right, in some cases that's fine. Or if it's modified. So I have a client that buys coolers that you put beer and sodas and food in when you go camping, a igloo cooler. When they manufacture them, they don't put the lids on them. So when they ship them in containers, they can fit more in a container if they stack them without the lids on them. So when he gets them here in the U.S., he has to install the lid, which literally takes seconds, 6 screws. You know, that is considered a modification. It's changed once it's here in the U.S. So it's still creating jobs here in the U.S. and that qualifies. IT equipment.
Well, can I ask you something?
Well, let me explain each question before you ask me the next question. You know what I mean? IT equipment, something that requires a software install, that can be considered sufficient for Buy American. As long as the product is modified or changed, that usually covers it. But we have to take that individually on each case. So your best bet in the beginning, until you won a few, is to stay away from Buy American. Stay away from prevailing wages. Stay away from these more complicated contracts. Go after the easier, lower-hanging fruit.
In my industry in particular, since I'm a lighting supplier, a lot of this stuff is Buy American. I mean, a good more than 50-60% of it's Buy American.
Okay.
So from what I read with the Buy American, who's the person who determines whether, like, let's say I was to buy light components, or the housing unit and the light diodes, and then I screwed them all together over here. How do I prove that that's actually manufactured now or modified enough to be BAA compliant?
You would submit that with your bid, and the purchasing and procurement agent would determine that when they review your proposal, your bid.
So I would just submit a document stating that this product was modified and how it was modified, and that's how it's BAA compliant. I don't have to have like a BAA compliant letter.
You're asking me to give you answers on proposals in general. It doesn't work that way. Every proposal is different. The best thing to do for now is to stay away from those, or find one and bring it to me and let's work on that one specifically. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can't give you answers on proposals and contracts across the board because they're all different.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. And I can schedule that with you, like a one-on-one?
If you signed up for advanced training, you get one-on-one. Otherwise, it's in the live group session.
Oh, no, I got that. All right. Awesome.
All right. Any other questions? Anybody else got a question? Bid, proposal, solicitation, something to work on? Abdul, Delissa, Getty, Glenn, Gene, Lewis, Racine, Terrence, Wayne, anything else, guys?
I have a question about the APP website, how to find a solicitation. I'm not familiar with. I haven't get a chance to go over. So could you please show me
Yes.
how to look at that?
APP has a learning center, and in the learning center, there's a video and a complete lesson on how to find an opportunity, how to set up your searches by keyword, performing the search, inspecting the opportunity, preparing your bid. You've also got limited information on my YouTube channel. A lot of the videos we took and cut them in half, so we weren't giving all the data away for free. All right, but I mean, APP is really easy to use. We've designed it to be the simplest system we can to make it as user-friendly as possible. So if you just go to the keyword search, right here, the easy search, put in a keyword, and you can search by the vendors that provide that, the opportunities that are available, the locations where they're at, contracts that have been awarded, or you can view all. You can also set your searches up here to run automatically by keyword. All right?
Okay. Great.
All right, we got a question in the chat. The question is, how often do these trainings, how often do you have these trainings, and how will I know where to find them? I do the trainings every day at 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then Friday, we do a intro video for new vendors. I strongly suggest if you're new to the training, you get on the intro video on Friday at 2 o'clock. Otherwise, these trainings are every day at 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern. All you guys have to do is send me an email and say, I want the invite every day, and I'll add you to the list. You'll automatically get the invite every day. And second question is, what do I do? What if you do not have the capability statement and you are new? If you signed up for Simplified Acquisitions, we build your cap statement for you and we put it on your government website. So you can just download it right off of there and put it on your letterhead. If you didn't sign up for Simplified Acquisitions and get the government website, I have instructions on how to build a cap statement. They're pretty easy. There's also a section on the APP tells you how to build a cap statement, and I have samples I can send you as well. Next question is, I need your email address. Right here. Boom. Any other questions? Anybody else got a question, bid, solicitation, proposal? No? All right. For you new guys, I'm going to make 2 suggestions right off the bat. Memorize your cage code and learn the military alphabet. Memorize your cage code, because if a purchasing agent asks you for your cage code, you want to just rattle it off like you've been using it for 20 years. You don't want to say, hold on, I got it written down here somewhere, or hold on, my secretary has it, or it's in a file, or I saved it in my phone. memorize it. It's only 5 letters and numbers. My cage code is 5YMD1. And I don't submit bids here. I've never submitted a bid here. We don't bid on contracts. We'll write bids for you, but we don't submit them. I memorized my cage code because I made up a stupid saying, 5 yellow mud ducks 1. Anytime someone asks for my cage code, I know it just by making up a silly saying. So memorize your cage code. Whatever you got to do, make up a silly saying, write it on your forehead, whatever. Memorize it today, not tomorrow, not next week, not today, to now. Memorize it immediately. Second thing you want to do if you don't already know, memorize the military alphabet. This might take you a couple of days, but print this out and study it and learn it. This will make your life so much easier. It's ridiculous. You'll see a difference immediately in how this will help you. And if there's no more questions,
John, I have a question. This is Rashawn.
Go ahead.
What's it SF1449? I'm reading. It says offers may be submitted on the SF1449 letterhead stationery. What's the SF1449?
That's standard form. SF stands for standard form, so it's FF149.
1449.
You can always go to acquisition.gov or gsa.gov/forms and download any form that's not attached. Usually they give it to you. If they don't give it to you, you can go to either of these 2 websites and download it. The 1449 is the most common. 1449 and 1441 are the most common standard forms you're going to see.
Oh, so that's the same thing that's on that's the first 2 pages of the solicitation.
Yep, that's the most standard form you're going to see is the SF 1449 and 1441. And they almost always have the same instructions. Discount terms, contractor, unit price times quantity, sign and date. Sometimes they'll have an acknowledgement of amendments down here on the 3rd page. You want to acknowledge the amendments. Sometimes they'll have another section where they ask you to put in your DUNS number and your cage code and sign and put in a point of contact and a phone number. But usually they're that simple. All right.
Okay.
Yes. John, looks like I have access to the USFCR website, but I don't have access to the APP.
Just send me an email. I'll probably have to go in and deactivate you and then reactivate you.
All right.
All right. You got it. Any other questions? Anybody else got a question, bid solicitation proposal, something to work on? Nope. All right. There's nothing else in the chat. There's nothing else in the email. So that's it, guys. I'll be back on here tomorrow. Yes.
One quick question. This might be something I could email you, but I remember hearing you in one of the videos stating that you had like factoring companies that you could suggest if we were to win contracts that they factor that.
Yes.
I can email you about that?
Yep. You guys can email me about anything, anytime. Most likely, I've either got a video that covers it or I've got a signature with the information that I can share with you, like invoice factoring. Right there. Whole list of finance companies, factoring companies. You need bonding. Got a whole list of bonding companies and the different types of bonds and what each bond does. So anything you guys ever need, best thing to do is just drop me an email. All right.
All right, man. You're too good to be true. Thank you, brother.
You're too good to be true. I like it. All right, I'll be back on tomorrow, guys. Same bad time, same bad channel, every day, 1 and 4. All you got to do if you want to get the invite automatically every day is just send me an email and say, I want to be invited every day, John Wayne. You're awesome. And you're on. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.